Should be going live.
Cool. We are live. Welcome everybody to Hump Day Hangouts. This is the pre-Thanksgiving version. This is episode 471, and I better know what day it is. This is the 22nd of November, 2023. While we get stuff set up in the background, gonna say hello to the guys and get started with that. We got a couple of quick announcements too, and a few questions. If you got any questions and you're watching live, be sure to throw them, excuse me, into chat. And speaking of that. If you are watching live, you can, of course, ask your questions there, but you can also ask your questions ahead of time via semanticmastery.com/HD questions. We know not everybody can make it live, as much of a bummer as that is. You can always ask your questions live and then subscribe to the YouTube channel and get updates when the questions or the replies are posted, which we would also appreciate because we're getting dangerously close to 10,000 subscribers, and it'd be really cool to pop over that kind of threshold before the end of the year. So, like I said, going to say hi to the guys real quick, and then we'll get into it. So, Chris, how you doing today?
Doing good. Lots of traffic here on the internet, so I hope I come over in a decent speed. Other than that, yeah, like as usual, trying to crank out like 3 more weeks of productive time and getting work done. Because I don't know like how it is in the States, but here it's basically 1/5 of December, it's like over for the year. So you can do your taxes and stuff, but usually not too much else.
Definitely, yeah. It's crunch time. We've got this, and then we got a couple weeks left, and then yeah, things definitely start slowing down. So, Bradley, how you doing today?
I'm good. I'm good. Like I said, I'm on my new laptop, and I'm not in my RV right now because I'm back up Northern Virginia visiting family for the holidays. So I've got better Wi-Fi for now. But good news is I dropped my RV off yesterday to get the Starlink installed. So when I go back from the Thanksgiving break, I'll have my new laptop. I should have good internet again. So now there's no excuses. Get back on the productivity wheel, I guess. So the treadmill.
That's
So
awesome. We'll have to get a review from you down the line about the laptop and then the Starlink too. I think it'd be interesting to see how this works out for you.
definitely.
Going to start the local SEO on the road movement.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because I've said to you guys, I know you and Chris do a lot of traveling, and I have not for most of
Yeah.
my career. And whenever I have had to travel for, business events and things like that, it's been a struggle for me to kind of do the amount of work that I typically do on a laptop. So for the last 6 weeks that I've been traveling back and forth and staying at a campground in my RV and all that kind of stuff, it's been challenging, but I'm adapting. But certainly having a bigger computer and better internet, that's going to make it a lot easier, kind of back to a normal routine type thing. So I don't know how. I guess you adapt out of necessity, but it's definitely more challenging than working on a desktop for sure.
Yeah, for sure. I think a lot of it, right, is like anything. You get out there, you do it, and then you kind of optimize as much as you can, and
Yeah.
just it's never going to be as good. But if you can get maybe an external monitor or a big enough screen, make sure you have a mouse, USB hub, all that sort of stuff kind of helps.
Yeah.
So cool. Well, we got a few things. I just wanted to mention we've got Black Friday stuff coming out on Black Friday. We're do things a little bit differently here. We have got some really cool free training coming out. We've got stuff about email and local SEO, and Bradley put together and is giving access to a ton of the video lead gen content. So, Bradley, do you want to just kind of talk about that real quick? What you updated and what you've got for people?
Yeah, sure. So I've been using video email for prospecting and also for everything really ever since about 2013, I believe it was, about a year after I opened my agency. Way back then, when I first started using video email, it was a hell of a lot different than it is now because you had to create like mock embedded videos and all this kind of stuff. Anyway, all that original training is in the video lead gen system. And then in 2019, I updated it to make it more efficient. And obviously things had changed for after a few years anyway. So the whole course is like version now there's a third version. So there's originally it was called vmail vmail prospecting for video email. Then we launched it as video lead gen system when I updated it in 2019. So now I'm calling this video lead gen system 2.0 with the DHA, or the directory hybrid agency SOPs. And part of that is because I still use the video email process, but it has evolved from 2019 to what it is today. And so all of the training that I produce for my team is also for my own agency, but also for inside the mastermind. I create SOPs or standard operating procedures in Flowster. Flowster is the SOP app that I use. And so anyway, because of the directory hybrid agency program and the way that I've been prospecting and bringing in leads for my own local SEO agency for Tree Care HQ, I've been using video email, but in a kind of a different way than what was taught in video lead gen system. There's a lot of overlap, but it's still a slightly different process, and it's been made a hell of a lot more efficient so that we can scale. In other words, we can do a lot more prospecting now. It's not so customized as it was before, which was very effective, but also very time consuming. So we've modified it in a way that allows us to do a lot more volume of these types of emails. So anyway, all of that training has been added, as well as a couple of additional pieces of training that I think are important as part of this video lead gen system 2.0 update that's available for free, guys, just from Black Friday to Cyber Monday. So make sure that you are on our list as you go sign up for it while you have the sign up link, because once you get in there, just to kind of clarify the kind of updates that I've added for the VLGS or Video Lead Gen System 2.0 or just SOP templates in Flowster. So I want to clarify this right now, just disclaim everything right up front. Flowster requires a paid account. They do give you a 7-day free trial. So if anybody wants to be cheap or you can't afford $28 per month for a Flowster account, then sign up for the free video lead gen system training for over the weekend from Black Friday to Cyber Monday, and then go import the SOP templates that I provided into Flowster under a 7-day free trial, and then log into Flowster and download the videos and copy and paste all the steps into a Google Doc if you can't afford $28 a month. Okay, I'm just clarifying that right up front because we're not going to do that for you. We're giving you the SOP templates. You can import them in your own Flowster account for 7 days. I would encourage you to just pay for Flowster, because if you're going to be using any of our training or decide that you want to join our mastermind, that's where we keep pretty much everything. So I would encourage you to just go ahead and pay for it. It's super good. It's great for your team anyways to have Flowster to be able to develop SOPs for your own business. And if you don't, unless you already have an SOP app, in which case then it doesn't make sense to do that. But the point that I'm trying to make here is I just want to clarify that right up front. I don't care whether you guys sign up for Flowster or not. All I'm saying is that if you want to use that training, then you're going to need to use have an account even temporarily, just long enough to be able to copy and paste the training from one format into another. But I would encourage you guys to check it out, because it's also a bit of a preview for what the DHA program is that we're going to be launching later. In the first part of 2024. So,
well, and Bradley, on that note, do you mind just touching base real quick on how it fits into the DHA or what the DHA is a little bit? Because I'm going to drop the link for the sign up survey for people who are interested in the directory hybrid agency training.
Yeah, so that is what I've been working on for the entire year of 2023 is developing what I call the DHA or directory hybrid agency program, which is building a directory site to, essentially creating a brand and creating an industry specific directory and using that as like the linchpin of your agency. In other words, that becomes your marketing and sales engine for your agency. And it's just been incredible for my own local SEO agency. And then, so for this entire year, I've been kind of developing the training and the SOPs for that, and also creating some custom integrations for high level so that it kind of overcomes some of the SMS text requirements, that what they call A2P compliance and all of that. We got a lot of email changes are coming in the next couple of months too. So that's something else that we will be managing for our directory hybrid agency program members. So there's a lot of benefits that will come with learning this method, which is, again, specifically to help you scale your agency. Most of our members, or a lot of our members at Semantic Mastery, are with, because I asked them these kind of questions on our onboarding calls, are between a kind of a set range of monthly recurring revenue, which is about, a lot less than what I should expect for our members to be making. So this kind of program is really to help people to scale to get to $30,000 per month in monthly recurring revenue or greater in the shortest period of time. And right now that's about 6 months from the time of the start period to the time that you should be able to generate that kind of money. That's what the program is developed for. The first 3 months of the program is a build kind of stage, build process where you're learning the system and you're building the assets for your own directory hybrid agency. The next 3 months of the program is purely marketing and sales training. Like, I don't want our members doing fulfillment in-house unless you already have a big team. That's fine. But a lot of our members don't have big teams. So I want people to use our fulfillment services so that they can focus on generating revenue for their agency. I say this all the time now, take care of your cash flow needs first. So the DHA program is specifically to help our members get up to a certain level of monthly recurring revenue so that they can pay themselves and their family a certain amount of income per month. And once you've hit that particular level, which is my goal with the DHA program, is to get our members to that level as quickly as possible. Right now, the kind of time frame is proposed time frame 6 months. But once you get there, then if you want to bring all the fulfillment in-house, that's fine. I'll give you all the SOPs for all of the fulfillment that we will be doing for you until then, because I've got all that built out for my team anyway. So the whole point here is to just get people to start making money from local SEO sooner than later. It's not about learning the newest SEO tactic. It's about learning how to sell SEO, how to generate leads for your agency and then sell to those leads. That's what the program is for. And then, like I said, once you reach a certain level of revenue, if you want to bring all that work in-house, fine. I'll give you all the SOPs and you can bring it all in-house. And that'll increase your margins. It'll also increase the complexity of your business, but it will definitely increase your margins. But to kind of get back to what Adam was saying about the video lead gen system, this is the exact process that we've been using for my own agency, and then also for the beta group. In our mastermind, we have a small group of beta members, and many of them have been building, going through this kind of program too. And so this is kind of the process that we're using for video emails now, and that's basically how it ties into the DHA. Just to be clear, you guys can modify the training from the video lead gen system, even with the DHA, the updates, what I call 2.0 with the DHA SOPs. Even if you're not planning on doing the directory hybrid model, that's fine. You can still modify that process for whatever agency type of work that you do. I do recommend, though, that you kind of niche down to one particular industry, because that's how you get really, really good at generating sales, is because you really understand a particular market, and you can develop all of your messaging and your pitch around that specific market. So in any case, what I'm sharing for the Black Friday to Cyber Monday offer from Semantic Mastery will benefit your agency if you apply it.
Awesome. Thanks, man. And anybody watching, the link is down there. So just hop in there. It's a really quick survey just to find out what you're most interested in, and then add your email to the list, and we'll be in touch once we're going to get that going. So I think that's about it, guys. Anything else we need to touch base on before we jump into questions?
No, I'm good.
All right, let's do it.
Let's do it. Don't have a lot of questions, so you guys in the chat, if you want anything addressed today, go ahead and post it. I'm going to grab the screen and we'll get through these, I think 5 or 6 questions. And then after that, we'll wrap it up unless there's stuff in the comments, because it is a holiday week. So let me grab the screen. It's definitely nicer having a little bit of a bigger laptop screen. I can navigate a little bit better. All right.
It's
so
good.
The first one's from Danny. He says, "Hey, Bradley, how important are category pages? Would you say they're essential? Thanks." It depends on what kind of site you have, Danny. If it's a blog, then yes, absolutely. Categories are important because the category archive pages show like all of the posts that fall within that particular category. If it's a local site, if you're talking about for local clients and stuff, I still use categories because of the building silo architecture into a website. And so categories are great for that, because the way that I teach this, and by the way, Danny, you can go to our YouTube channel. So youtube.com/semantic mastery, and you can use the channel search feature, or actually just click onto the playlists tab and you'll see, just scroll through, there's dozens of playlists, but just scroll through, and or even use the channel search feature, whatever, for silo training or something like that. There's a playlist in there with silo training, and there's several videos in there, starting with video number 1, which is called simple silo structure. Video number 2 is the complex silo structure. And then there's some additional training videos in that playlist that go a little bit deeper. But So I just bring that up because if you have questions about silo architecture, then that training is really good. But part of that is whenever we're developing silos, we create the page, the top of silo page. So that's the top level term, the broadest topic term or category term is the way that I optimize now. But that's the top of silo page. Well, then we mirror that same kind of page into a category. So in other words, whatever the top level term is that we're going to create the top of silo page for, so a regular page on the site, right? We're going to also create the same category. So it's going to have the same slug. It won't, and before, if you try to use the same slug at like a post level or at a page level, so when I say slug, I mean permalink, WordPress automatically adds a -2 to it. Or some other way that the WordPress makes it to where it's not a duplicate slug or permalink. But when you're talking about having the same slug in a category versus a page, it's okay because the URL is unique because the category is inserted into the URL is for the category archive URL. I don't know if that makes sense. If you go back and watch the YouTube videos I'm talking about in that silo architecture playlist, this will make sense. But why I bring that up is because you mirror the category, so the WordPress category that you've got the top level silo, top of silo pages for. And then what I typically do is redirect the category URL to the top level silo page or top of silo page. Does that make sense? And here's why, because whenever you add additional content into that silo category, especially if you're publishing posts, which is what I typically do for like location pages, for example, or supporting in their location posts. Or if you're doing supporting content within a silo, and so they're posts, not pages, you're going to want to select that appropriate category. And what happens is the taxonomy structure, so that's the architecture of WordPress, right? Between tags and categories. There's also some others like author archives and things like that. But really what I'm talking about is tags and tags and categories. When you have the category and you're publishing posts and you place them in that category, they're like in the back end of it, essentially like the taxonomy helps the relevance flow from the post into that category because the post is in the category. In other words, a category is a container, right? And you place the post in the category. Well, if you redirect the category URL to the top of silo page, then that kind of relevance is flowing through that internal taxonomy structure, right? But it ultimately ends up at the top of silo page. So it's almost like another internal linking method or mechanism in the WordPress site, if that makes sense. So yes, category pages are essential in my opinion. If you're building silo architecture, then you're going to want to use category pages, period. Now, whether you redirect them or not depends on what type of site it is. Again, going back to, like I said, a local business type of site, generally not going to need blog archive pages or category archive pages. So that's why I do the redirect to the top of silo page, because I just, again, there's two ways to do internal linking. There's manual internal linking, or there's three ways really. So there's automatic using like plugins and stuff. Link Whisper is one of them. There's a number of plugins that can do that kind of stuff. SEO Press Pro, I believe, has some internal linking stuff. But there's manual linking, right? So that's creating internal links from pages and posts with contextual links manually. That's a pain in the ass, but it's very effective when building sites with silo architecture. For all the top level pages and everything, I do everything internally, manual internal linking. But then there's the taxonomy internal linking, right? And so that, again, just to kind of, if you redirect the category page to the top of silo page, that's like creating automated internal links through the taxonomy structure, if that's clear. So I feel like category pages are going to be required in pretty much everything. I think they are essential. But depending on how you use them or depending on what type of site it is, determines how you use them. Hopefully that's clear. Okay, it's a good question, by the way. Okay, Ray says, "Hey Bradley, what's going on? I have a question regarding making offers to our clients. So recently, one of our existing clients wants to expand his business to a city nearby his main city. Let's see, are you guys still seeing me or hearing me? Okay, let me can somebody confirm in chat? My computer just did something weird. I want to make sure you guys are hearing me okay. Chris, if you're still on, can you confirm? Okay, I'm flying blind here. If anybody in chat can comment, am I still live? Okay, fuck it. I'm gonna keep moving. This will go up as a recording if nothing else. Thank you, Cecilia. I knew I could count on you. Thank you. Somebody was paying attention. All right. Thank you guys. All right. So back to this. Hey, Bradley, what's going on? I have a question regarding making offers to our clients. So recently, one of our existing clients wants to expand his business to a city nearby his main city, and he's asking me to make a GBP listing for him in the city he wants to expand to. Upon telling him there's going to be a setup fee for this GBP listing, he said if he was to pay to get the listing set up, he'd like 50% ownership of the GBP listing. I don't feel like we're giving 50% ownership of the GBP listing away. I don't feel like giving that away, nor do I know what 50% ownership of a GBP listing looks like. At the same time, I don't want to set up the GBP listing for free. Thought about packaging the GBP listing up with the Google Ads setup and just charge him a flat setup fee up front in order to generate leads without mentioning specifically what the setup fee is for. Wow, that way he won't feel like he has to pay for the setup. How would you approach the situation? And if we were to set up a listing for this client and own it, how much would you charge? On the other hand, if you were to set up a listing for this client and have him own it, how much would you charge? Thanks so much. Okay, so yeah, so first of all, look, if you're going to be setting up a GBP or Google profile for a client and it's going to be branded for them, you might as well just set it up for them. I mean, yeah, you want to charge them because there's a cost to it, right? There's a cost whether you're hiring a vendor to do it or if you're doing it yourself, there's a cost. So you should charge them for the setup fee regardless, right? Period. But what I'm saying is if it's a branded GBP for his brand, I don't know that I'd want to mess with trying to take partial ownership of that. And like you said, how do you do what does 50% ownership of a GBP look like? I don't know. I'm sure you could make some sort of arrangement to work that out, but why? That's a lot of additional complexity that I don't understand why anybody would want to do that. It just why make your job harder? Right? It doesn't make any sense to me. And I'm not picking on you, Ray, just so you know. I'm just saying like in both for him and for you, right? For your client and for you, that seems to be overly complicated for no reason. So don't do it. If it's a branded GBP for their brand, just let them own it. But yeah, charge them for it because that's, you're going to set it up. So charge them for it. But I would let them own it. It's their brand. What are you going to do with it if they decide they don't want you anymore? Right? If you go try to rebrand it, it's going to likely require re-verification anyways or suspension. And how are you going to re-verify it if if you're changing the name and you no longer are associated with the business and the physical location that it was originally verified under? How are you going to re-verify it? You know what I mean? So like my point is, why bother with all that? If it's branded for their brand, just give it to them, right? I don't mean for free, but charge them and they'll retain ownership of it. You're going to be managing it, but they're going to retain ownership of it. If you're worried about that, like as far as the work that you do, there's and losing all of the effort that you put in, if they decide they don't need you anymore, there's a number of other things that you can do to optimize their Google business profile but benefiting a lot of your own assets and your own agency as well, which is precisely what the directory hybrid agency is all about. Like literally, it's specifically so you're using your clients' budgets to benefit your brand and your assets at all times, even though it also benefits them, right? So anyway, interestingly, we've had some discussions in our DHA beta group. Thanks to Cecilia, she had a really good idea about potentially making an offer where you do a kind of pseudo branded GBP or like your own directory, your own, like in my case, I call it the directory agency brand, but the directory brand GBP. So in other words, you set up a GBP that is branded for one of your brands, okay, and then but but it's for the client's benefit. In other words, that's where you own the GBP, but you can strike an agreement with them to where as long as they're paying you whatever the agreement is, that they get exclusivity of the leads generated from that GBP. So in other words, that's kind of, again, going back to the directory hybrid model. And why do I call it the directory hybrid agency, guys? It's because we want to strike a balance or a hybrid between traditional SEO retainer, like traditional SEO under retainer, where you're optimizing your client's brand and profiles, right? or in lead gen. It's a hybrid between the two. And lead gen is where you own the assets, right? So the point of the directory hybrid agency is to have a hybrid of the two, where you can monetize any contact regardless, because you can offer them lower cost lead generation if it's through your assets, or higher cost lead generation if it's under kind of traditional retainer based services, if you're doing SEO on their brand. So you can offer either or both, really. Does that make sense? And so the point is, with the I really like Cecilia's idea. Now, I have not tested this yet, but I assure you we will be. And over the next several months for Tree Care HQ, my own agency, we're going to be testing some of this. And that is, listen, tell your prospect, your client, look, here's an alternative. Here's another option. We will create a GBP under one of our brands, and we will give you all of the leads. So long as we're under agreement, right? Whatever that is. And if the client decides that they want to stop paying for those, or paying the monthly retainer, or however you monetize that, then it's written into the agreement that you retain control of the GBP. It's yours. It's under your brand anyway. All that you're doing is guaranteeing them exclusivity of the leads while the agreement is in effect. That is it. But in that case, I wouldn't charge them for that. I would go ahead and just set that up on your own, because you're going to own the asset. Again, you can, though. Don't get me wrong. Typically, I wouldn't, but you could. You could say, but there is a fee for this, and tell them that it's a hard cost on your end. There's a hard cost of time, if nothing else, right? So anyway, but what I'm saying is, if it's going to be a GBP that's branded for them, then I would charge a setup fee, and I would explain to them very clearly, hey, you're going to own this, but yeah, there's going to be a cost to this. If it's a GBP that you're going to set up under one of your brands instead of theirs, then you can still charge them, but charge them half or something like that. Half of what you would do if you were going to set one up for them, and tell them, listen, I wouldn't be setting this up unless it was because you requested it. But because we're going to set this up under our brand, we're going to own it and control it. But as long as we're under agreement, whatever that agreement is, we're going to send you all of those leads, and you'll be the exclusive beneficiary of the leads generated from this location, if that's clear. But Mr. Prospect or Ms. Business Owner or whatever, if you decide that you don't want to use our, continue paying us, then we have full rights to the GBP, because you will own and manage it anyway, if that makes sense. So that's how I would do it. Again, I would not get into the weeds of trying to do 50-50 splits on any of that. It's either they own it or you own it, period. It's the easiest way to do it, in my opinion. So anyway, clearly, hopefully that's clear. Gerardo says, after the helpful content update and boost of the UGC platforms and forum, is there a way to leverage forums, user-generated content platforms? Yeah, we've seen quite a bit of that, actually. I've tried some and seen that Tumblr subdomain is very fast in indexing and ranking speed. I've not done any testing on that. So probably, Gerardo. I've just not done any testing with that. I don't really have the bandwidth to go in and comment in a bunch of forums and stuff. So and usually when I do SEO testing, it's me, I don't usually task that to like team members. It's usually me doing the testing, because I enjoy that. And I've not done any testing with user generated content stuff. Although, yeah, I've definitely noticed that is, I've seen a lot of sites like Reddit is crushing it right now, because user generated content, like just Reddit just fucking exploded after the helpful content update. I've actually thought about trying to figure out some ways to use Reddit, but every time I've ever done anything on Reddit, I've always had everything moderated out. So I gave up on that shit a long time ago. Vasco from Vetted, though, I know he does some stuff with Reddit, and I've been meaning to kind of test some of his Reddit gigs right now, because I know Reddit is just really doing well right now. So yeah, I assume that there's some tests should be done. I just don't have the time, Gerardo. I think there's definitely some potential there, though. Right. So sorry, I can't give you a better answer. Ray says, hey, Bradley, to follow up on our last question. Okay, so this was the long one, and here's the second part of the long question. And I'm just teasing you, Ray. It's all right. To follow up on our last question, I've been hesitant on setting up a new GBP listing just because, one, I'm not sure if I'll be able to successfully set it up. Yeah, that's true. That's a real pain in the ass. It's very difficult to do. So that's why, I mean, this conversation may be completely moot because you might not be able to set it up anyway. I'm not sure if I'll be able to successfully rank a GBP listing and have it generate leads, given how difficult it is to get GBP reviews to show up and stick these days. Would you still recommend going the GBP listing route as far as local lead gen, or would you say going the Google Ads, Facebook ads route is probably better given the current situation? Okay, that's a great question, Ray. And so that it's funny that you say that because we had our meeting last week, the Build with Bradley group, which is a discussion group. And then also on Monday, anyway, it doesn't matter. I've been doing a lot of SEO, or excuse me, Google Ads testing recently. In fact, I just set up another campaign today because I agree. I think, yeah, guys, just go do a local search. Like a lot of the industries that I'm in, or that that I do link building in, for example, local is almost like 90% of it's local stuff, and the vast majority of local search queries now, it's getting ridiculous in that you have to scroll below the fold now to get to the first organic listing, and that means non-paid listing. So non-paid listing, let's put it that way, because when I say organic listing, people think organic just below maps, but when I say what I mean is non-paid listing, because like for a lot of local search queries now, there's the Google guaranteed ads at the top, then there's regular Google ads, and then in the maps pack, I'm seeing in a lot of cases, two Google ads in the maps pack. So you have to scroll below the fold to get to the first non-paid listing in maps, period. And so for that reason, I've been doing a lot more testing recently. I'm not super good at Google ads for search ads. So I'm doing a lot of testing on my own to try to kind of brush up on a lot's changed in Google ads too. And a lot has changed. Even it took me weeks to get conversion tracking set up properly. Unfortunately, one of our mastermind members, Carol, gave me a tutorial and helped me out. But anyway, why I bring that up is because I think ads are definitely something that we as local marketers, not just local SEOs, but local marketers are going to have to become proficient with. Because again, and this may all change because the search results and SGE and all that stuff. But as it stands right now, it looks like non-paid, so search engine optimized, ranked assets are getting pushed further and further down, right? So in order for us to stay relevant, in my opinion, we should also be good at ads. And so that's kind of why I'm doing that. I'm not going to start teaching on ads until I feel confident in my abilities at running ads. And right now I certainly don't. So I think it's important to go to learn ads. I don't know about Facebook ads for local. I've never found anybody that's been super successful with that. Again, I've never talked to anybody that has been super successful with generating leads from Facebook ads for local service providers. I'm sure it's possible, but Google ads, yes, it can be expensive, but I think it's effective. And that's why I'm trying to dial that in myself to see if I can get better at it. And then I will teach on it once I do get better, if I get better at it. Hopefully that's clear. What I've been teaching in the DHA beta program and what I will be launching when we fully launch the program is to build organic assets. Those do not generate nearly the volume of leads, though, that you're going to need to support a business. But it's a great foot in the door strategy to at least initiate a conversation with prospects or business owners in a particular area. So let me kind of back up and explain what I mean. You can still build assets and rank them organically because you don't need to verify them like you do Google Business Profiles. So if you want to enter a new area, a new location, a new market, right? Build some organic assets, get them to rank, and then use those assets to target companies in that area that are already providing those services in that area. And then you show them that you're outranking them in organic, at least, with these assets, and that they're available. And you can use that as a conversation starter. Will that fully support the business? No, because the amount of leads generated from organic assets only is very, very low. But it's a great way to at least start a conversation with the business owners in that area, because you can show them with proof that you know how to get results. And then because they're actual business owners with real valid businesses, you can always, again, back to the hybrid model, right? You can always sell them or rent them your organic assets, or even just use those as a foot in the door strategy to back into normal retainer-based SEO services for their Google business assets, because they have one, right? So then you don't have to worry about verifying profiles or anything else. They have a verified profile. And if something happens where it triggers re-verification, you can re-verify it because it's a real valid business. Instead of like trying to build all these spammed GMB listings or Google business profiles that are likely going to be suspended, or that you won't be able to re-verify. If you can even get them verified, it's going to be damn near impossible to re-verify them. That, to me, guys, is not a great way to build a business. For years, that's all I did, was worked on Google business assets for years. But the times are changing. It's much harder for us to verify them now, and it's much harder to keep like when they're not real Google business profiles. It's much harder to keep them. And so why build a house on a shaky foundation like that, right? Why build your business on that? I don't think that's wise. So instead, that's why I started developing the directory hybrid agency model, was specifically for that reason, because I don't want to keep trying to buy or build Google business profiles that are likely going to be suspended or terminated, or trigger re-verification every time you make an edit, and then I can't verify them. I don't like to spend time, effort, and money, or resources, period, on stuff that has to be redone or that I'm going to lose, right? I don't want to gamble on that shit. So instead, there's two. So what are the other options? Well, paid traffic, right? Or developing another method, an alternative option, which is what the directory hybrid agency model was specifically developed for. Use organic assets to rank in a particular area, then use those to start conversations. Then you can either monetize those assets, or you can just use them as, again, conversation starters, and then back into doing SEO retainer work, traditional type of work for them, for your client on their branded assets. But you can also do a lot of other things and still benefit your own assets. But ads is also a great way. In my opinion, I think it's something that we're going to have to do. So I don't know if that answers your question, but I would say, yeah, I don't think trying to verify Google business profiles right now is the best thing to do. I just think it's very difficult, and it's likely that it's not going to last long. So in my opinion, you're better off, if you have the ability and the desire to learn ads. That's a great thing to do. But also, like I said, so you can always use organic assets as a foot in the door, and then offer to just do SEO services on their Google business profiles once you've had that conversation, if that's clear, right? Think about that, guys. You can always rank organic assets and then use those organic assets to help boost your client's Google business profile. Because if you've got organic assets ranking, and then you land a client in that area that has a Google business profile, you can always go in and rework those organic assets to provide links to the clients, or embed the client stuff into them, all that kind of stuff. And so it's going to help them through your assets anyway. So you end up monetizing your assets, even if it's not a separate stream of revenue. It could be wrapped into a larger retainer for doing SEO for their Google business profile. Hopefully that's clear. But the point that I'm trying to make is you can build your assets first without having to worry about any verification purposes or process at all, and then use that, and then to work on to benefit their Google business profile. But then one last thing, back to the ads, guys. Remember, that's something else that you can also do is, if you've got ranking organic assets in a particular area, you could also set up ads in that same area. And now you're generating leads from ads and from organic, right? Just not maps. So now you could have two streams of leads, although organic's not going to return a lot. You've got two separate lead sources that you can combine with a Google business profile from a client, right? And so now you're kind of, it's a holistic approach to cover all bases in search: paid search, map search, organic search, right? And 2 out of 3 of those would be assets that you own and control: Google Ads and organic assets. And then all you would be doing then is benefiting their Google business profile through the assets that you've already built. You could use their retainer money to continue building out your own assets. Again, back to the directory hybrid agency model. That's precisely what I'm teaching. So anyway, hopefully that's clear. And you're right, getting reviews is a bitch. That is one of the best things you can do though for SEO right now, for local SEOs to get reviews, but it's definitely a difficult thing to do, which is more reason again to kind of follow the hybrid model, because once again, you've got a real valid business that can generate reviews and you can help them do that, right? By the way, GHL, for those of you guys using high level, GHL smart apps, I just bought it today. GHLpowertools.com has a Black Friday deal going on for 30% off for a lifetime for all there's his suite of tools. Just give me a second, guys. I see some comments coming in. Let's see if I can get this to pop up. Yeah. So GHL smart power tools. So if you go to ghlpowertools.com, he's got a Black Friday deal going on right now, and it's like a 30% off or some shit for a lifetime deal. Yeah. 30% off right there. And I had already bought the GHL smart reviews before, so I got the 40% off. I just bought it earlier today. I'm right here's the thank you page. But I would encourage you guys to check this out, because it looks pretty good. There's the actual the price without the coupon code is $1,600, but with 30% off, I think it's like $1,100, something like that. So just telling you guys that are in high level or that you're using high level, there's some pretty cool stuff that he's got in this this suite of tools here. So part of the reason I picked this up, just to be clear, is because with our DHA program, we are providing the high level account for our members. So you get the directory hybrid agency account. It's called the master account, master sub account. And then we will also deploy all of the sub accounts for all of your clients. And so there's some tools in here as part of this power tools thing that are going to make the process of deploying those sub accounts so much faster and so much more efficient. And that's precisely why I bought this, because we're going to be deploying dozens, if not hundreds, of sub accounts. And I want to make that process as efficient as possible. And this helps automate, or some of the tools in this suite of tools helps to automate some of that. So that's why I picked it up. All right. Let's see. One last question, and then we will get to comments for the last few minutes, guys. If an expired domain, so this one's from Samuel, if an expired domain meets all your criteria, but it's last WayBack Machine snapshot is a 301 redirect to a spammy site, do you move on? No, it's fine. That's if you say the last WayBack Machine snapshot was a 301 redirect, that's fine. Keep going back in the WayBack snapshots. Keep going to previous snapshots until you find one to whatever the last time that domain had a published website on it, and then look at that content. And that's generally what I do. Like I don't care if it was redirected somewhere. That doesn't mean anything to me. What matters to me is the last time there was a published website on that domain and it was live online, what was the content about? It doesn't have to be an exact match, but it should be related. Because here's the thing, guys, when you look, if you buy a domain purely based on metrics, then you're defeating the purpose, because if there's backlinks pointing to the domain already, and you buy the domain based on metrics, and then you change the topical category of the site and put something new on it, then all of the backlinks pointing to that are now irrelevant, because they're not relevant backlinks anymore, right? They're not relevant to what they're linking to, so they're ineffective. So there's no point in that. I don't understand people buying domains anymore purely based on metrics. It should be based on relevance. If you buy a domain where you've analyzed the backlink profile, and the backlink profile is relevant, the anchor texts are relevant, then when you buy that domain and put new content on it in the same topical category, then all of those backlinks are automatically reactivated, because, like, in other words, they're still providing value because they're relevant. But so the point that I'm trying to make is, I don't care about a site if it's been 301 redirected to something. What I want to know is, what are the backlink profile pointing to that domain, and the last time that domain was published online and it was relevant, like, what was the content about? What was the topical categories about? If it's relevant the last time it was published online, then I will still pick it up. The reason why I say here's when I don't buy the domain. I don't care if it was redirected, because remember, you're going to buy the domain and you're not going to have that same redirect in place. You're going to publish new content on the site that is relevant to what the topical category of the backlink profile is, right? So it doesn't matter what the redirect was, the backlink profile that's already pointing that domain, if you publish content in that same topical category, then all those backlinks will become relevant again. So hopefully that makes sense. What I don't do though is if I were to look at the domain in the last time, like let's say it was an old landscaper's domain, and I look at the WayBack Machine, and the last time it was published online, it was, you know, an affiliate site, and it was, you know, people promoting to buy Adidas shoes online or some shit. I don't know. I'm just pulling this out of the air. Then I'm not going to buy that domain because Google has a cached history of that domain. And the last time that it was published online, it was, you know, a real spammy site. That's just my own kind of process. I don't do that. I don't buy domains that have been spammed like that. But you know, again, what I'm saying is if you already have a relevant link profile or a link profile and you can determine what the relevance is topically, then I don't care about the redirect because you're going to remove that redirect when you buy the domain. All I'm saying is you want to make sure that when you publish new content on that site, it's relevant to the backlink profile that's already pointing to it. That's what makes those backlinks still valid, if that's clear. Anyway. All right, guys. Let me get out of this share and just go into comments and we'll wrap it up for the day. Sorry, I'm just scrolling through here. I think I'm on my own now. I am. Cecilia, I really need to do some self-analysis because I'm not sure I like the impression I'm giving to people. Okay. Jim says, what's up, jerks? Happy Thanksgiving to all those in the States. Happy Thanksgiving to you as well, Jim. Yeah, Reddit on the SEO circuit is turning into Outlook India. Okay. Hey Bradley, how would you Job Killing says, hey Bradley, how would you recommend learn Google Ads for local lead gen? Honestly, I you know, I don't have a good source for that. You know, there's some really good sources for YouTube ads training, but it's more geared for like affiliate stuff and or like so for example, Justin Sardi has really, really good YouTube ads training for affiliate stuff. What is it? Alric Heck, I think his name is, you know, from Ads Outreach or whatever. He's a freaking ninja. He's all over the place. And we bought his YouTube ads course, but that's more for like high ticket, like coaching and consultants and things like that. It can be probably modified to local, but I've not done that. My partner Adam went through that training. So I don't know about YouTube ads for local. I know, God, what's his name? Fuck, give me a second, guys. Let me see if I can't remember his name now. I just talked about this in one of our groups the other day. Video Power Marketing, Jake Larson. He's got a Black Friday deal coming out tomorrow. I'm trying to open the email right now, guys. Give me a second. I'll send you the link. Jake Larson. Now he does YouTube ads. He's run a YouTube ads agency I think for mostly local businesses for a long time. And so he's got a YouTube ads course coming out tomorrow on Black Friday for I think $97. And I bought some of his training over the years. And I would say he's pretty good. It's been probably 2 years since, or maybe more, 2.5 years since I looked at any of his training, but I would say especially for the price, I would recommend probably checking his out for $97. It's kind of hard to go wrong. Let me grab the screen for a minute, guys. I'll show this to you and I'll drop the link in chat. And again, I can only vouch for this because I've followed some of his training over the years and picked up some nice nuggets for doing YouTube ads for local over the years from some of the training that I purchased from like WSOs and stuff from this guy. But this is videopowermarketing.com. I'm just going to put this link in chat, guys. Anyway, I would check that out. But to get back to your question, Job Killing, specifically, how would I recommend we learn? For example, would you recommend that we learn from Ed Stapleton's Google Ads Agency Accelerator course? Good. That's probably a good one because Ed Stapleton, he was a former mastermind member many years ago. And I've actually referred people to him because I know he has clicksgeek.com, which is his YouTube ads agency, or excuse me, Google Ads agency. He's a white label Google Ads provider. So I'm familiar with his course, as a matter of fact. So you might want to take a look at that. I don't know that he does. Oh, so you were talking about just Google Ads in general. I was talking, sorry, I misread your question. I thought you were talking about specifically just YouTube ads. But yeah, I've actually been through that course from Ed Stapleton, and it's good. So Google Ads for local is good. There's also another one. He's a guy in God, he's a guy in Australia who's pretty good. I'd have to find it, but he's got another YouTube ads, or excuse me, not YouTube, but Google Ads course for local that's pretty good. I'll have to try to find that one as well. But specifically, what I've done, guys, because it's changed so much with all the Google Ads has changed so much since the last time I was in there doing like any kind of a lot of serious ads campaigns. And so a lot of that stuff now is performing better, like the automated bidding strategies. So the AI bidding models and stuff tend to be performing better now than what I can do with manual bidding and all of that. So my biggest thing is just once I find a training course that you want to follow, is just commit to it and commit to spending some money, even if it's your own, to kind of learn the process. You have to break some eggs to make an omelet. And with Google Ads, like there is no substitute. You can take all the training in the world, go through all the courses in the world. There is no substitute whatsoever for actually getting in there and just running ads and just managing campaigns and testing things. And there's no substitute for that, guys. So just remember, you're buying data, right? You're paying for your education one way or the other. You're either going to buy courses or you're going to spend money on ads and waste money while you're learning. Either way, you're paying for your education. You see what I'm saying? So, but yeah, that's a great, Ed Stapleton's course is good. If I can think of the other guy's name, I'll post it in the comments of the replay or something like that. But his is good. And then, like I said, specifically for YouTube ads, this one might be good too. Video power marketing. I'm going to buy this tomorrow for sure. So I just wanted to post that in there. But like I said, sometime probably or by spring, I hope to have dialed in ads enough because I want to offer those to my tree service clients. And I've got one campaign that's been performing well in Louisville, but I've got other campaigns in other cities, two others, one in Northern Virginia, well, Winchester, Virginia, and one in just north of Boston, Massachusetts. And those aren't performing worth a shit. But I got one in Louisville that's performing well. So I got to figure out this stuff. So I don't have a good answer for you right now, but hopefully by springtime, I will have dialed that in enough to where I can teach on it as well. So speaking of affiliate marketing, have you ever done affiliate marketing? I did many years ago. If so, what's your opinion on using Google Ads to generate traffic for affiliate marketing? It's great for launch jacking because it's probably a lot more people do it now than they did. But years ago, when I was doing a lot of affiliate marketing, we did a lot of launch jacking stuff. And that was kind of one of my kind of secrets that worked really well was not only did we build a bunch of, organic assets and do YouTube videos and everything else to rank for new product names, which was fairly easy to do, but I would also run ads. And most of the other SEOs I was competing against when we were doing launch jacking stuff weren't running ads. And so that was a kind of a benefit. And that's how I got on the leaderboard of several different launch products, was just because I ran ads. And then we also did like drive stacks and things like that. And I'd actually built a team around that where we had a 3-person team, VAs, that's all they did was build launch jack campaigns Monday through Friday for 40 hours a week. And it was good, but it was a lot of management and a ton of work because we had to go through this whole process of building all these assets every single time a new product came out. And the launch jack was only like a week to 10 days. You know what I mean? And then the offer was usually closed down. And so I just got tired of that because that was like a never ending hamster wheel of just constantly, building for a very short sales period. And then boom, everything was basically obsolete. So I kind of wanted to get away from that because, as I mentioned earlier on today's webinar, I don't like to spend a lot of time, effort, money, resources, whatever, on stuff that is going to be obsolete, whether it gets terminated, suspended, or just doesn't, they close the the checkout page or the sales card or whatever, all of that. I don't like to do that kind of stuff. So anyway, but yeah, Google Ads is great for launch jacking, but I don't do affiliate marketing anymore, guys. So I just don't know how good they are for that. I can't imagine it wouldn't be good though. So, all right, everybody. Thanks everyone for being here. Happy Thanksgiving. We will see you guys next week.